Let's start this morning's practice just in a comfortable seated position, as comfortable as you can manage. We can't all be as comfortable as this guy, but do your best. Settle into your space. I, I'm wearing a sweater and my heat is on, and it's another cold, rainy day. So I am grateful to have this practice to kind of lift me out of this sense of enough already. So I hope wherever folks are logging in from that it is a gorgeous day and that I will have the crappy day on behalf of everyone. That said, yoga has the ability to turn it all around. What we can't control, we notice. I'm trying to remember the don't judge part, not going so well today. But again, I'm not judging my lack of judginess. Maybe that's a win. So today we are going to do some more work on the half moon pose. And it's such a beautiful posture. And today we're going to kind of incorporate a little bit of additional stretching and additional focus on balance so we can really kind of bring this posture home. And I'm going to show you some additional components of it that we didn't get to last week. Mostly because I always schedule too much for every class. I want to do all this stuff. And then it's like, oh my God, I have no time. So let's do some breath work to begin, just to kind of ground in, because clearly I'm the one who's a little bit spun today. So I'm aware, I'm conscious of the block that I'm sitting on. I'm conscious that, my body's still feeling a little bit stiff and not completely limbered up. My brain's going a mile a minute thinking about all of the things that I'm going to do for the rest of the day. And this is often when people feel like they want to skip a practice, but don't. Notice it all, sit, and control this, what we call monkey mind, with some very simple breath work. So we're going to do a box breathing exercise. This is me making a box. So we're going to breathe in for 4 counts. We're going to hold for 4 counts. We're going to breathe out for 4 counts. And we're going to hold for 4 counts. I don't know what all the hand things mean. It made sense in my head. The whole point of this is to really discipline our mind and our body, but also to build comfort with those periods of time when we are without breath. So either we've pulled breath in, there's no more room to kind of pull in, so we're just kind of holding what we have. And then that sometimes more concerning feeling when we've blown all the air out and then we pause in that space with nothing. All of those are good things to get used to and to build comfort around. So, nice and tall, imagine you're being pulled up through the crown, connected, plugged in to the amazing universe. Soften your eyes, soften your face, soften your jaw. Take some normal breaths first. Notice the rise and fall of your chest. Notice how your diaphragm works. Let your shoulders drop away from the ears. And then let's move into that box breathing exercise. So let's pull breath in for 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in deeply, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Dump it out, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, getting taller, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Dump it out, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. And out for 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Last time, in, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Push it out, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Return to your normal breath. Without welcoming in any chaos that you might have brought to the mat this morning, just pause and notice. How's your space now? And just allow yourself a little bit more time in the pause. Good. Still in a seated position, just rolling the head from shoulder to shoulder. Welcoming the creakery and crackery. And then taking a slow, deep breath in while stretching the arms up. And let your shoulders roll down the back body. Oh, just welcome. Last week we were talking about kind of tapping into the parasympathetic, and hopefully that's where you're starting to move towards now, just that softening of everything in the body. Let's just quickly pop onto hands and knees for a little bit of cat-cow, and then we're going to come up to our feet and continue with that in a standing position. But it's nice to start down low, close to the ground, and then we move up from here. So hands are underneath our shoulders, knees are under our hips, pulling back through the core, just reminding ourselves that whenever there's movement through that center part of the body, or really any part of the body, we want to make sure that the core is engaged so that we're using all of the muscles to help support movement, which keeps us safe and limber and mobile. Take a slow, deep breath in, head and tail start to lift. Notice any tightness along the spinal column. And then slowly exhale, rounding the back, head and tail tuck under. Inhale, breathing it up. And exhale. Make some noise with your breath. Inhale. Keep breathing in, head and tail are lifting, and exhale, dump it out. Round the back, head and tail tuck under. Inhale, head and tail lift. And exhale, rounding. Inhale, head and tail lift. And exhale, rounding. All right, let's come to a flat back. I'm gonna flip my toes under and just walk my way back. I'm gonna move right onto a flat foot. Do your best to, from here, hop up to standing. That little lift up is something I try and do throughout the course of my day. I'm down low often, thanks to friends like Jeff and Ted. And when I'm down there, I try and push up in that way. And the more I'm doing that throughout the course of the day, it's just keeping all of this working and strong. Super important for us. Okie dokie. Find your feet under your hips, please. And we're just gonna tuck the tail under, shoulders come up, back, and down. Give the arms a little shake. Pulling up and back through the core. And just bring the chest up even more, lifting here. Lengthen through the top of the head. Just notice how this feels. It feels awkward, you're not alone. It's a little bit, but it's really good for us. All right, let's take a moment, just tighten through the core, and we're gonna start to sink down here. So from side, I'm just starting to sink. So my butt is coming back. I'm not arching yet. I'm just kind of that nice flat back. Hands are resting on tops of my knees on the thighs. Good. So from here, I want to take a breath in, and I do want to really arch the back. So I'm going to inhale, opening up the chest. The shoulders are pulling back. Tail is curling up. And then exhale, sliding the hands down, creating some space to round into this. Inhale, move slowly. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let's do a couple more. Breathing in. And out. Maybe going deeper into this. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Let's roll up. Bring the shoulders back. Excellent. Shoulders back here, and let's take a moment to bring a leg up. Bring it forward, point your toes. Flex the foot. Point. Flex. Point. Flex and circle. All while you're breathing. And circle in the other direction. Good. Releasing, switching to the other side. So lifting up here. Leg extends forward, shoulders are back, core is tight, pointing to begin. Then we flex. Point. And flex. Point. And flex. Let's do it once more. Point. Flex. And circle. This sets your balance. It's also a good little strength exercise. Yikes. And switch directions. The minute I mention balance, I fall over. How's that for fun? Great. Bring that foot down. Give it a little shimmy shake. We're going to do that behind now. So nice and tall. Tuck the tail under, core is tight, shoulders are down, hands wherever they feel like being. Start with your toe on the floor. My supporting leg is mostly straight. Once I lift my leg back, I'm going to bend into this a tiny ways. My supporting leg toes are forward, but you could go out on a slight angle, whatever works for you. So I'm going to lift that leg up, slight bend to my supporting leg. My gaze is forward, chest remains open, and my toes point. Flex the foot. Point. Flex. Point, keep the core tight. Flex. Point. Flex. And circle. And also have the hands forward if that helps. And switching directions. I'm literally doing this while watching a robin pulling worms out of my lawn and eating them. How is that for entertainment? And releasing. Let's move to the other side. So, toe touches. A little bit of a lift, a little bit of a bend. And here we go again. Start by pointing. Stretch or flex. Point. That dang robin's distracting me. Flex. Point. Flex. Point. Flex. And circling. And switch directions, please. And releasing. Good stuff. Take a little bit of a wider stance. Not much, just a bit. Shoulders remain back. Hands to the hips. And we're going to do a very gentle figure eight. Just a little bit of sweeping, and I'm trying to internally rotate and then externally rotate. Legs rolling in, legs rolling out. All of this while breathing a lot. We're just kind of getting the brain used to rolling the leg in, rolling the leg out. A few more, you're going to feel your supporting leg getting tired. That's good. Maybe you can do bigger. And awesome. Let's switch to the other side. Starting small. I'm going at a little bit of a rapid clip today. Sometimes if I do it really slowly, it's really hard. So find what works for you today. Maybe bigger. Pay attention to where you're feeling the fatigue from this. Is it core? Is it quads? Or maybe it's in your brain and you're going, get to the half moon. We will get there, don't you worry. Okay, a little bit more with balance. This is always a fun one. I'm going to invite you to join me as we start to lift up onto the toe base. So as you lift up here, come as high as you can up onto that toe base, which is kind of what we always used to call tippy toe. But toe base is what I mean. Like you're wearing a ridiculous pair of high heels, which is how I look in a pair of high heels. And as you're hanging out here, notice the wobbles in the ankles. And don't judge it, just notice it. It's good. It's what's kind of resetting us. Keep breathing as you hold this. Now think about where you're feeling this. Is it the calf muscles? Is it your back? Is it your core? And then very slowly sinking down to a flat foot. Good. Now we reverse that. I want you to peel the toe base off the mat and just balance on your heels while breathing. Smiling helps. Deep breath. I have to stop looking at the robin. Oh my gosh. Soften the feet down to a flat position and a little bit of recovery through the body to a more normalized position. Once I get up on the heels, I start doing this this kind of panicked look and my jaw locks. But that's how I maintain the posture. So I've got to try and do it while looking a little bit more approachable. Let's try that again, lifting up onto the toe base, please, and thank you, nice and tall. Maybe adding an arm, so reaching up to the sky. Lots of deep breaths. This is so much more comfortable being on the toe base as opposed to the heels, so enjoy it. Find some stretch. And then releasing down, and we'll lift up onto the heel base. Sometimes a mudra helps, sometimes jamming your tongue into the back of your teeth helps. Sometimes nothing helps and you tumble over. And releasing down. Once more, toe base. If you want, you can do this round with bent knees for the toe base. See how that feels. And if your knees are bent, slowly start to straighten and extend all the way up, reaching with the arms. Adding this movement helps so much. And then sinking down, flat foot, and last time, up to the heels. Same deal. Want to do it as a squat? You can go for it. I'm really grateful I have a sofa behind me in case something needs to catch me. If you are in a bent knee posture, slowly without dropping those toe bases, try and come back up. Release the feet down, roll your shoulders. Oh, I feel like I've run a marathon. And then take a moment, stretch out the tops of your feet with just some little curtsies. And switch to the other side. Beautiful. Little shake. Take a moment here, soften into yourself. Close your eyes and breathe. Notice how you feel right now. And what I want you to tap into is, how do you feel emotionally? And this is important. You need to decide now if you are in that space of feeling silly and playful and ready for a challenge, or if you're already feeling frustrated and bringing in a bit of judgment for yourself. So just notice where you are. If you're feeling playful and a bit goofy, that's exactly where you need to be. If you're feeling that you're nervous about the challenge of what we're going to do, if you're feeling that you're not good enough to do this, if you're feeling that you suck at this, just take a deep breath. And as you exhale, let that go. We need to feel playful and goofy. That's the right space to be, because that is where we find growth. So let's use the facial feedback hypothesis to turn this around with eyes closed, nice and tall, feet grounded into the ground or whatever it is that you're standing on. Scrunch the eyes closed and give the biggest smile you can. Like really right across your face. Feel your cheeks lift and move. Breathe deeply. Smile even more. Nobody can see you. Everybody's eyes are closed. Smile even more. And soften and relax. Open the eyes. Facial feedback hypothesis works because it sends a message to the brain saying, hey, here's a big smile. And your brain goes, hey, something good must be happening. I must be happy and I just didn't notice. So you trick your brain into thinking you're happy, and then you start to release some happy chemicals. So again, when you're approaching something and feeling insecure, that you're not good enough, that you're not going to be okay doing it, take a moment and trick your brain. When we're feeling positive, when we're feeling happy, so much more is possible. It doesn't mean we're going to succeed, but it means that we're in a better heart space to try. Okie dokie. Let's move on to the triangle. Take a nice wide stance, if you will. We're working on the triangle now because it's going to start to open up the hips and help us work on a little internal and external rotation. So with this nice wide stance, I'm going to take one foot out on an angle. Both legs are still straight. And then I'm going to move the back hip back, just a little pop. Arms come out from the heart as opposed to the shoulders. I'm going to look at my front hand as I kind of just stretch forward a little bit here. Little reach, reach, reach while that back hip pop, pop, pops. And then we start to hinge over. So this is our first triangle of the day, unless you are a wacky overachiever and you've been up already doing 14 million triangles. That's not me. So this is probably feeling tight up the inner thigh. You might feel tightness down the back or in the hips. Your feet might be screaming. Whatever's happening, notice, breathe. If you're hinging forward, open it up, leaning back. In this posture, we always want this top hip to feel like it is stacked on the bottom, like on the bottom one, on the bottom leg thing. There go my verbal abilities. Doesn't take long. All right, to come out of this, tight through the core, and then we sweep up, straighten that front foot. Relax it down. Great work. Okay. Over to the other side. Bring that foot out. Hip, hip, hip. Arms come out. Look at that front fingertip hand thing. Reach, reach, reach. The hip comes back, back, back. And then we hinge forward. Legs are straight. Knees engaged. And I'm sliding down, seeing kind of where I am comfortable today. Now, my shoulder that is on top is much tighter. So it's a natural feeling for me to want to hinge forward. I'm making a decision to lift up and back. And I'm going to turn my head and look up at that hand in the air. Tight core, coming all the way back up. Roll the shoulders. Release the feet. Toes are pointing forward. Toes are not painting. They are pointing. I'm going to sweep up nice and tall. Reach, 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 and then swan dive forward. Find the floor with your fingertips. Take some breaths. From here, keep your left hand on the floor, bring the right arm up. So coming into a nice twist. Bring the hand down. Moving to the other side, sweep that arm up and back. Bring it down. Think about which side was tighter. Go back to that side, sweep it up. Bring it back down. And let's reverse swan dive, lifting all the way up. And bring the hands to the heart. Nice. Bring your feet closer together. Okay, so when I was doing that posture, my shoulders tight, so I did twice on that side. But I'm also feeling some just stiffness in my upper body in general. I'm pretty sure I know why. Just from sitting yesterday, driving for a while, all of that great stuff. Makes sense. So I'm gonna add one more piece here, which is so important for you to do this as you're working through a home practice. And because right now you're in my home, we're gonna add a piece for me. Thanks. Thanks for being good supporters that way. So all I'm gonna do is keep the core and the torso very stable, and I'm gonna start looking over a shoulder. As my head starts to look over the shoulder, I want to open up the opposite shoulder by pulling back, holding and breathing. Move back to center. Look over the other shoulder. And then move the opposite shoulder back. And then move back to center. Give it a little shake. Easy peasy. Okay. I'm gulping my ginger tea because it is right now the perfect gulp temperature where it's like cooled off enough that it's not scalding my face, and it tastes really good. So I'm like, oh, I want so much of this. Okay, we're gonna go back to the triangle. This time, a couple of things that I really want you to focus on. When we are hinged over, I want you to really think about opening up. We want to stretch back as we reach to the sky. That's going to help us for half moon. Oh, that felt good doing it for the other side too. The other thing to really think about stacking those hips, right? When you're in the posture, think about it. What does Barb mean by stacking your hips? And basically it's when you're on your side, one hip on top of the other. And so when we get to half moon, I'll explain a wall variation. Thank you for reminding me about that, Laura. I don't have a wall to show you all here because windows and other crap, but we'll still talk through it. Okay, nice wide stance. Shoulders are back. 1 foot out, coming back to the triangle. Pop your hip. Arms come out. Look at the front fingertips. Reach, 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 reach. Hip comes back, back, back. Legs are straight. Hinge over. You don't have to come all the way down to the floor. Back of my hand is resting just above my ankle. And I'm going to not only move the arm back, but I'm going to externally rotate through that pelvis to stack my hips. Lots of deep breath here. Two more breaths. Keep that arm open. Keep that chest stretching. Tight through the core. Floating up. Releasing your arms. Straighten the 1 foot. Open the other. Hip comes back. Arms are opening. Looking over the middle fingertips and reaching forward while the hip moves back a little bit further. Hinge over. Slide into the posture and think about this. Pulling that top hip back, the arms opening up through the chest. Breathe. Think about all the pieces of body that are pushing and pulling to make this possible. It's pretty awesome. Couple more breaths. And all the way up. And releasing. Good. Pause for a moment to breathe. Soften through your face and eyes. Notice now, how do you feel? And I hope by this point you're feeling a little tired, a little like, okay, let's get to it. Let's just do this. So that's what we're gonna do. Now, Laura reminded me last week of the joy and the pleasure of doing the half moon against a wall. I am not blessed with a lot of wall space. I live basically in one room and we have a lot of windows. And where we do have walls, there's like artwork and stuff in the way. But if you have a wall, if you are blessed in your life with wall space that you can use, you can do your half moon against a wall. And so to do it, I'm not going to do it here because I'll knock something off the wall, but you would start literally right against the wall. You would come forward as the leg lifts up and you would do your pose against the wall. Now, the benefit of doing it against the wall, as Laura reminded me, is you really have that support to open up the posture and you have the support to get that top hip up and open. For those of you who I knew back in the day in Apsley when we were using the school gym, we would do this against the wall and it was so great. And I really forgot about how enjoyable that was. So if you have a wall, great way to practice it. If not, let's grab a block or not. Some people don't like it with the block. I'm going to use a block. If you don't have one, you could use a chair for this. I'll show you how we're going to set up the posture, and then I'll talk you through some modifications. So, very basically, very basic, very simple terms, I am going to hold the block in the hand that I want to weight bear on that side. I was doing it all wrong from the get-go. So I am going to step forward. As my block comes down, last week I was telling you to kind of line it up on the outer edge of the toe. We're going to go inside. That'll make it easier. So as my block comes down, coming more towards, oh no, I'm wrong. I'm backwards. As my block comes down, I want to be to the outer edge of the foot. That's right. So I'm going to come down with the block as my leg lifts up. I'm going to open up into this. And this is where we want to start to work on that external rotation of that top hip, stacking the hips, opening up the chest. And that's what we're looking for. Now, if you don't have a block, you can do that with your hand on the floor. It's a little scarier coming down. You have further to come. Or you can use a chair seat or a stool as long as it's stable. So again, it's something to lift you a little ways from the floor. If you're not using the block, just take your time coming down and find what feels comfortable for you. I like the stretch from not using the block. Now I'm all sweaty. So come in and out of it 3 times on each side, please. And coming out of it, you're just going to kind of step back and down and have some fun with that release. Hopefully that was enough time for you to work through 3 tries on each side. Notice how you feel right now, which I'm mostly saying to myself, which is amazing. I love when I'm doing a posture that doesn't necessarily feel super hard to me. Physically, it doesn't feel super hard. But then when I'm done, I'm like, ooh, I'm catching my breath, which really shows that I'm using some muscles quite aggressively. So that's why it's kind of a neat posture. I want to show you an additional piece that you can stack and add on to this. Because I know in my heart that when we're done today, you're going to spend the next week practicing this in every free moment of time, right? That's logical. So I want to show you one more fun piece that involves actually reaching the arm, that top arm, to the top leg and turning it into a modified kind of dancer posture. Again, only if you're feeling that you want this additional challenge. And I should offer a further modification, which is working in the other direction. If you hate the half moon and you think this sucks, come back to the triangle and just see how you can get a little bit deeper there. Same opening of the hip and the chest. Okie dokie. Let me do it this way. So I'm going to step into my half moon. Getting comfortable here. And then if you want, you're going to find your foot. Just holding and breathing. So try a couple more on each side, maybe adding this additional step if it feels good. Okay. When you feel that you have explored this posture as much as you are willing to explore it, then let's come to a standing position on the mat. Shoulders come up, back, and down. Take some deep breaths. Feel both feet on the ground. Close your eyes, breathe here, and think about how you feel. Again, you're looking for, has your mood shifted? Has your outlook shifted? Maybe you were really positive and playful before, and now you're like, this sucks. Just notice. So open the eyes. Let's sweep up. Nice and tall here. Grab a hold of a wrist, which you can't see, and leaning into one side. Opening up here through the chest. Back up to center, stretch. Other side. All the way up, and we're going to swan dive down. Try and keep the legs straight. So fingertips to the floor, maybe, if you can. Drop the head. And then tight through the core, sweeping all the way up. And pull that beautiful energy back to heart center. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to pull my camera in a little bit closer. please come on down to your back on the mat. Ah. Really wiggle in here, get a sense for feeling the ground on your shoulders, on your back. Slow the breath, deepen the breath. Let's breathe in slowly. And as you exhale, push the feet into the floor and lifting up through the hips, tight through your core here. Pinch the bum cheeks together. Let's inhale down to the floor. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. And exhale, lift. Hold here. Maybe lifting a little bit more here, pressing more into the shoulders. And then slow, slow, slow as you release down. Let your low back relax. Good. Pull both knees into the tummy. Give yourself a really big hug here. And maybe kind of moving side to side, a little bit of rocking back and forth. Keep your left knee where it is and release the right leg down to the floor. And then I'm going to use my hands to pull that left knee even closer to the body. As my right leg starts to kind of lift up because of tightness in my hip flexors, I'm going to press that leg down. And then I'm going to pull my left leg out to the side, kind of moving the knee towards the armpit. All of that while keeping both shoulders on the floor, not rolling into this. I'm going to hold here and breathe deeply. Lots of pulling, lots of pushing. And then very slowly bringing that left leg to center, switching hands and crossing the midline. So we're really releasing through the piriformis. Come back to center. Let's extend this leg straight up into the air, flex the foot. Pull it in a little ways. And then switch sides. So stretch that leg out. And the right leg comes into the body. So as I really pull back on the right side, I'm going to press down on the left. And matching the intensity of the pushing and pulling with a deep breath in and out. And I'm going to start to move my right leg out to the side while keeping my shoulders grounded. I repeat to myself while keeping my shoulders grounded. And then slowly guiding that leg across the midline. And then bring your leg back to center, extending it up. Flex the foot. Maybe pulling it a little ways here, adding a tiny bit more tension. And then releasing. Find whatever posture works for you for Shavasana. Heck, maybe it's butterfly. That makes sense to me today. But do what you need to do to be comfortable, to let your brain go, and to allow your body physically to have a little bit of peace, which means I need to stop yakking. Whatever position you're in, let your body rest, let your mind drift, and just hang out for a little bit. Deepen your breath and add some motion as you start to kind of stretch your way out of your Shavasana. Maybe stretch the hands over top of your head, stretch out the legs, flex your fingers and toes. Maybe move your head from one shoulder to the other. Take one more big stretch, fingers to toes, lengthening through the body. And then pull your knees into the tummy. Give yourself an amazing hug. And then move to a seated posture. So one more time, do a check-in with yourself. See if you can remember how you felt when you started the practice this morning. And think about what has changed. And if you can, think for a moment about what it was that allowed for that change to happen. then we bring the hands together in front of the heart. I thank you so much for hanging out this morning. I hope everybody has a fabulous day, a great week. And I look forward to seeing you in a week's time, next Sunday. Namaste.